right, we're gonna make this interesting. I'm at the Marriott Hotel in Amsterdam, and I'm giving I'm gonna be giving a training to about 100 people, and you can see that the chairs are all separated so that you keep that distance. But I'm gonna quickly go over some things about networking and how many steps are you from your client. So right now I'm gonna go to a screen and I'm gonna share it with you. So bear in mind, because I have to have to do this on this platform. So John Mulatto, bear with me. I know you got a lot of patience, but bear with me, my friend. All right, let's see, we got it. All right. Okay. I just like to tell a story. I hope everyone can see this screen about how to stay connected to your network during these times. And one way is, of course, technology. And I always like to put up this slide because this is an aircraft carrier. It's a military hardware, but someone asked me to arrange it for a sales promotion. They wanted to do a sales promotion off the coast of Barcelona. So they asked if I could get an aircraft carrier for them. It was basically for beer, for Heineken, and for Phillips. They had a budget of 20 million, and they wanted an aircraft carrier. So by staying in contact with my network, I was able to get this aircraft carrier very quickly. And this is my success story, what I always say about networking. I could go on about it, but then you have to read my book. But I want to get back to this. How many steps are you from President Clinton, former President Clinton? And you can share your thoughts or put it on the screen so I can see. Some people may say, oh, you're about 7 steps or 5 steps. Some others, like John Mulatto or Pamela, may say, oh, I'm 1 step. That could be. But this is about how many steps are you from your client. And that may vary. That's why I want to talk about this right here. Now with technology, we think we're always plugged in. And sometimes, as you see what happened with this session right here, you feel like you're connected with them. You feel like everything's going well. But at one particular moment, it doesn't go well. Regardless of how and what you're using, you're trying to get in contact with that client, and you're realizing that, am I really close to him, or how do I stay in contact with them? Sometimes you feel like you're not connected to your network and your clients, you don't have contact. Now with the technology, what's going on, especially with the corona, and really listen, this is the first time in my life, and I know for sure in your life, that everyone across the whole globe is faced with the same situation. Before, it may have been that there was a drought here, or there was a war, or there was a famine, or there was an economic crisis here in this particular country. Now, we're all faced with the same thing. And it's pretty good that BASE has put this conference together, because they're using technology to be able to bring people together. Of course, you have to know how to alleviate the problems, because there's some bugs that do come into the program. You know, like my mic, or do you hear the echo? But basically what it is being able to take advantage of the situation that you're confronted with. And that's what the BASE conference is doing. That's what the whole thing is about, is to be able to stay connected to your clients and know that you're not 10 steps away from them. You're probably 1. You just got to know it. So technology gives you the feeling sometimes, and communicating it, that you're not connected with them. That's why I like to go and say the objective of what we're going to talk about is knowing who's in your network, knowing that client. How do you bring value to your client? You know, you may say, I have the best product, I have the best service, but you have to bring value that I deem necessary, the client. And you have to be able to give back. I always say the cardinal rule of networking is giving. You don't say me, myself, and I. You have to give back. And that's why I appreciate that the organization has allowed me to be an ambassador, and also to give back what I think is necessary in networking, to stay connected and to shorten those 10 steps or 6 steps, whatever you say, to mean 1. And that's what we're trying to do. So knowing your network, that's President Obama. That's me with him in Amsterdam. I met him also in New York, and my best friend helped him get promoted. As John knows and Pamela knows, that's Stedman. That's Oprah Winfrey's man. who know him well. So I was able to meet him. And so I put that up because I want to make sure you understand who I am, because I may become your client or you may become my client. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. I'm coming out with my new book in 1st of November. I'm an international speaker. I speak more than 100 times a year, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also retired military. I spent 20 years in the American Army. And after I retired, I started my own company, as John Mulatto knows, because he was one of the first organizations when he was the president of the Amsterdam American Business Club and was also the secretary. Him and Mike Bell and Dennis Callis, we were all together. I mean, I was still in the military and I joined the Amsterdam American Business Club. So I'm going to talk to you about how to stay in contact with your network. And so the first one is, like I said, I'm an author. I came out with my first book, which is a bestseller. My second one, Wake Up Call, and this is my new book. It's about building relationships through networking, and that, as I say, that's going to be coming out. And so I'm an author, and I make sure that I bring a genuine concern for my clients and for the people that I'm dealing with. What's your biggest challenge? I know a lot of people say, well, Ruf, you make it seem so easy to network and to be able to keep contact with the people in your network. And the people in my network are clients of mine, or friends of mine, or associates. And so the biggest challenge that you may have may be, well, how do I approach somebody? How do I go into a setting or an outing and I don't know anybody? Well, if you're going to an outing or you're going to a setting and you don't know anyone, a good tip is to do this. Be first. Come there first. Not only do you get the best parking space when you come first, but you also are able to be there and look at the playing field to make sure that everything is right. To be able to stand there and wait for the first person to come in. Because when the first person comes in, they're going to come to you. And when the second person comes in, they're going to come to you. So just be early. If you're scared to meet people, or you're hesitant, or you just don't think you belong in that particular place. And really, let me tell you another thing about maybe a challenge that you may have is rejection. Somebody may turn around, may not even listen to you. And when somebody does that, realize that they're showing you what their true colors are. So when someone does that, realize, chalk it up and realize that that person is being arrogant, is being disrespectful. So now they're showing you their true colors. So if you do have a challenge in networking or a challenging in getting closer to your client, take the step, get closer. There's many ways you can do that. You know, I believe that networking and how you build your clientele is based on trust. It's based on earning respect, based on your action. And it's about giving back to your network, giving back to your clients, giving them the feeling that they mean something to you. And so when we talk about this, we're talking about you. We're talking about you and your clients, how you go through business with them. How do you know your network? How do you know your clients? You know, I'm so grateful for the technology that we have, if it's on the social media, if it's the LinkedIn or it's the Facebooks, because it keeps me aware of the birthdays that people have. And so knowing your network, the technology has allowed me to be able to come up and now say, hey, listen, it's somebody's birthday. And you know what I do about knowing my network? I know when their birthday is. And when I know what their birthday is, I send them a greeting. On the 1st of January every year, I change my text, my little text that I will send to somebody on their birthday. And every day, at the 12 hours go by and it becomes the next day, I go and look on social media and see whose birthday it is. And then I cut and I paste. So I'm sending it out to them because I know my network, I know the client has one day that is special. That's their birthday. So I send them a message. Sometimes I make a look at some people and I've sent them messages for 10 years and they never responded. But I remember them and I send it out because technology has allowed me to do that. You may have did it on a calendar in your home for your family. But you got to know what the other person, what the client needs and what they want. And when you know that, you'll be able to connect, baby, with them. This is my wife's birth card. And it says, the Mr. and Mrs. Brewster Hoogland gives thanks to God with great happiness on the announcement of the birth of their daughter, Herma Petronella. Basically, this was them showing their clientele, showing their network that they have a daughter. So one way is to be able to keep knowing and keep contact with them. And yes, that's my wife, and that I put that picture there so it wasn't on her birth card. But you got to know when someone is born, because that's where it all starts. Your network starts when you're born, and that is a potential client for you as you go through life. Knowing your network. How do you know in your network if someone is looking for a job? Do you know someone that's looking for a job? And can you help them find one? The base conference that we're doing is to bring people together. Last year, as was stated, I was the master of ceremony, and I brought in my network and I tried to help people. This year, of course, because of the corona situation, we cannot get together face to face. But there is still somebody out there that needs a job. And who do you know in that position that is looking for a job? And could you help them find a job? You know, one thing is to be able to help the people that need the help. So knowing your network knows that, hey, I have a friend that's looking for a job, or I know a friend that has a friend that's looking for a job, and you use this technology, use the platform that we're using right now to be able to help somebody. Second thing is, who's in your network you can count on to be there for you? Is really your client is counting on you to be able to provide the service or the product that you need. Who in your network can you count on to be there? Let me tell you this. I can count on John Mulatto. I know that man a long time. He was my first member of my business club back in 1999. He was the first one that joined my network club. He was the first one that subscribed for my magazine, The Roof. He was the first one that bought a box of books, my books, to give to his network. So I know that he's always there for me. I can count on him, as I can count on other people that I mentioned. But I just see that his name, that he's listened to this, because for so many years he's been listening to me for 20 years. So I just want to say that because I appreciate him and I know I can count on him. And organizations or clubs that you're a member of, because that's where the fishing pole, that's where you can go out there and try to find some clients. And they're the cheapest way of finding new clients, is to be able to go to an event. That's why the base conference had the event last year, to where we could get together, where we can meet people. You know, I met Veronica and I met Elena, and you know what? I did business with them. I was their client. They became my client. I mean, my whole system of my new networking academy is on the platform of Elena. I mean, I got from Veronica, she helped me get a VA. I didn't know what a VA was. A VA to me is like the Veterans Administration, because I'm retired military. So I thought the Veterans Administration was coming here. But what Lena did was she turned me on to Anel. Anel is now my VA, my virtual administrator, my virtual assistant. And so you see how you're helping based on the clubs that I joined or the members I did. You can now get more clients, or you can even see people that you haven't seen in a long time. So you got to know your clients. You got to know your network. Where did you previously work? Because maybe where you previously worked could become a client. Maybe they are a client. So you got to make sure that you remember that where you passed, the network that you've created, if you have worked here or worked there, those are potential clients for you, and you're closer than you think. You're not so many steps away. You know, I spent 20 years in the American Army. And when I drive here in the Netherlands and I drive down to the lower part, the bottom of the southern part of the Netherlands to Maastricht, I always stop at the military base there, the American military base, and I see my friends. I'm keeping contact with them. I previously was in the military, and I have previous contacts with those people. They know me. So share with each other where you used to work. Bringing value. What do you bring to the table? If you don't bring value, somebody else is. Your clients must know that you have a value system for them. You got to make sure you know what your clients need or what they want. So bringing value is important to the table. Look, I'll use an example right here. This is basically connecting the dots with your clients or connecting dots with your network. You got to have the subject matter. What are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody as an entrepreneur that you need, or are you looking to do something with the automation or your sports? First, you got to come with connecting the dots and being able to know who's in your network. Is you got to come up with the subject matter. What are you looking for? What is your client looking for? I'm going to give an example. Someone came to me, and I'll give it a better example a little later. Someone came to me and was looking for someone. And the first thing that I do is I go and I look into my network, and I'm trying to find someone who knows the right person for the person that is looking and asking me. And if they don't have someone, I ask them, do you know someone? So now I'm going to look into my network to see who I know. And all those people you see, I know. If it's Ali Bey, if it's Richard Branson, if it's Stedman and Oprah, if it's Muhammad Ali's first wife, if it's President Clinton, or if it's the Kareem, the director of my Giving Back Foundation. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to energize them. I'm going to get in contact with them and see if they can really help. And really realize not everybody can help. And they're going to tell you, no, I can't help you, or maybe next time. So be prepared that when you turn to a client, you may not be able to provide everything, but you got to turn to your network to be able to combine. And that's why I want to bring up this one. And that's Jan Decker. Jan Decker is a guy I know for 20 years. I work with Jan Decker. And Jan Decker came up with an idea to start a TV station. He wanted to take a TV station, not a TV program, but a TV station. He wanted to start a station and be able to bring the truth about food. So he called me, he says, Roof, we haven't seen each other in a long time, but I want to keep contact with you. I'd like to be able to start a TV station. Can you help me? So I drove up to his office. I listened to his plan. I read his business plan. And I said, Jan, I'll help you set up a TV station. You know, there's not too many people who have ever started a TV station. I know two. I know Jan Decker, and I know Oprah Winfrey. These other people may know other people. So he says, can you do it? I said, yeah. So I read the business plan, and I said, Jan, that's nice that you're talking about Irene Moores, and you're talking about yourself and Rudolph van Veen, the chefs, but where's the return on investment? You got to make sure if you're asking for 15 million, what are you bringing to the table? What is someone going to do? So immediately I turned to my good friend, Hans Borhout from PricewaterhouseCoopers. He was in my foundation and still is in my foundation for 20 years. He's the PricewaterhouseCoopers has been a partner of my Giving Back Foundation for 20 years. So I turned to Hans. I says, Hans, here's a business plan. How can we turn this business plan into where you show the return on investment if someone puts out 15 million? So he put it together. But then I had to talk to Rudolph van Veen, the top chef. I needed to know exactly what was the food, what was the food of thought for this TV station. And then what I did was I brought them all together. I connected them all and said, okay, guys, how are we going to do this? And sure enough, we got Fox. Fox International bought 24 Kitchen. That's Irene Moores. That's one of the famous TV stars here. I put it together, and they made and created the 24 Kitchen, which is now in about 7 different countries. This is a TV station. It's not a program. It's a station. So this is knowing what the other person wanted, knowing what the client needed, knowing what Jan Decker needed. And so I always put this up here. Who would you like to add to your network and why? You know, a lot of people say, Ruth, can you bring me in contact with this person or that person? And the first thing I say is, what do you bring to the table? What type of value are you going to bring in? Why would they want to meet with you? So, you know, you can jot down now in the chat little box, and let's see if somebody within the base conference network, within this database that we have, maybe somebody knows somebody that can hook you up with the person you're looking for, or maybe they know somebody. So who would you like to add to your network? A person. Don't come out and say a company, say an individual's name. And let's see if we know somebody. And what can you bring that person when you have identified and say, I wanted that person? What do you bring into that person? Why do they need or want you? You could say, I like to be brought in contact with Beyonce. Well, motivates me, or her style, or Ronaldo. I would like to meet Ronaldo, or Richard Branson. He has an entrepreneur mind. I like to meet him. But what are you bringing to the table that they need or want? Because they had a lot of other people that they know that can bring value. So if you want to meet someone, you want to know your client, you have to know what your client needs and wants, because then you'll be one step ahead of all the other people. So make sure you understand what you're bringing to the table. And knowing and bringing value, let me tell you about this story. That's President Clinton, of course, as you know, and that's me at his home. And if you see behind him, you can see the stones that are over there. That's his yard. That means his grass is not that far out and his yard is not that bad. And the reason I'm up there is because I brought President Clinton twice to the Netherlands, and I'm a member of his Clinton's Global Initiative. But what does he need? He has a foundation. He needs money. He needs support. And so what happened was the Dutch have a lottery. It's called the Postcode Loterij. It's called the zip code lottery. And what happened is the zip code lottery wanted an ambassador, wanted someone to be able to go into the world and talk about the Dutch lottery system. So they asked, hey, Ruth, can you bring me in contact with President Clinton? And I said, yeah. So I took the founder on the right-hand side, Bodewijn. I took him to President Clinton's home. And to this day, they're still doing business. So I'm knowing what the client needs. I'm bringing the value, the money, on the Postcode Loterij, the value that they have is that they can have President Clinton come to the Netherlands every year. When somebody wins a prize, they can stand there and get the picture taken. So I brought those two together. And you know what? To this day, the foundation has given President Clinton more than 33 million euros. To this day, they have given so much money. Every year they give it. So if you hear in the news and you talk about Clinton's foundation, realize what the Dutch lottery has given him more than $35 million. Now, do you think he likes me? I think he does. And so I always say, Peter Drucker said this. He says, money is information in action. And I, as a professional networker, say this: knowledge of your network is power. When you know your clients, you shorten those steps. You'll be not taking a full step. You're going to be taking a half step to get closer to them. And what we're doing right now is networking. But how many steps are you now from President Clinton? Look at what you wrote down on the beginning. How many steps are you now from him? And I'm not trying to say, hey, look at me. When you know who's in your network, or you know what your clients need, you go a long way. So with that, you got to give to your network. And what did the lottery do? Because I did that, they gave back to my foundation. They gave 35,000 euros to my foundation. And so they helped me. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, when you give, you're going to always get something. You're always going to get a good feeling, or you get a bad feeling. And it's regardless, it's in your heart, you're going to feel, oh, you know what? My parents were right what they gave. And it gives bring joy to me. Or you're going to get a bad feeling. You always get something when you give back. So realize giving is about you. And with that, some tips on going to an outing. We can't go to an outing here. I came to an outing there. I see the general manager of the hotel right over there, Pete. It's right there. I got to wave to him. Got to keep the distance from him. Iman, the general manager here. But I'm going to tell you some tips on going to outings. So next time you attend the base conference next year, here's one. Know who's coming to dinner. Ask the organization, ask Veronica, ask Lena to give you the attendance list, so I can see who's coming, so I can get prepared myself to who I want to talk to. Maybe my client is coming. So when you go to outings, ask for the attendance list. Be prepared. Don't guess who's coming to dinner. Know who's coming to dinner. And the other one, be early. When you're early to an event, I can look around. I can get the best seat in the house. I can park my car. People will come to me as I explain to you. Be early. And the other one, meet a stranger. That stranger will be your next client probably. Because what you're doing is you're going out to these events. You're participating in the base conference because you want to meet new people. When you meet new people, that's new opportunities. That could be turned into a long-time friendship. You know, my wife was once a stranger. till I reached out my hand and say, Sergeant Ruffolo. And this year, on the 10th of October, which is only a couple weeks away, my wife and I will be married 40 years. That's my main squeeze. We've been together for 44 years and been married for 40 years. That's right. I'm 63. That's right. Joined the American Army when I was 18. Retired when I was 38. And now I'm 63. So get out there and meet those strangers because they may become your wife, your husband, your best friend, or your next client. And with that, networking is not who I know, it's who knows you. And there's a lot of people out there that know you. And people come to me and say, Roof, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me find a client? And I say, wait a minute. If I look at your LinkedIn profile and I look at all these other things, you got 1,000, 2,000 people that are linked to you. And I mean, tell me you don't have a client? You can't find a job? But that means that you're not tapping into your network and your network does not know who you are. So it's not about me, it's about you. And with that, to stay connected to your network, to stay connected to your client, you have to use this technology now. You got to connect to your network. And listen, the only way you're going to stay connected is if you take the initiative. What Lena and what Veronica are doing and all the other team people within this organization of the base conferences, they have taken the initiative. They have taken the initiative to try to help you, to get you more connected with your network, to get you more connected with your clientele. They're trying to bring you together to help you. But to stay connected to your client, to stay connected to your family, to your network, you have to take the initiative. Don't say, no, they didn't do anything. You take the initiative. It's like I'm taking the initiative to say, this is my network academy. I put all my training online. And as I told you earlier, Lena's software platform that I use, it helps me do that. So I put my courses on there. I got more than 150 videos, and I try to make it interesting because following an online course at times could be boring, but I try to make it exciting like I'm trying to do this right now. So you're welcome to join at all-inclusive 99 euros. You can do it on your own pace, but that's something I started based on the conference that I attended last year. I got business from it. I got technology from it. And the other thing is now up to you, a question or an answer. And with that, with a question answer, I'm going to cut off this screen right here so possibly I can maybe talk to somebody because I got about 5 or 10 minutes left. So before I say anything, I want to say thank you, be safe, and if you got a question, let me know. So now I'm going to go back to here, stopping sharing my presentation with you, stop sharing, going back to here, and now we're back here. So what's up? Anyone got a question? John Mulatto, when can you buy my book? That's easy, man. It's going to be coming out shortly. You can buy it. And when you buy it, Johnny, I'm going to give you a discount because I'm going to put pre-sales. I'm putting pre-sales out. So you're going to get a good discount. It's going to be $24.95, but if you buy it, and I know you will buy it, Johnny, it's only 20 euros, including taxes. So who has a question, Yana? Go ahead.
There's a question from JP there. Know your contact is key, but the reciprocity is the clincher. How to present your value?
The value, you have to make sure first you know what your value is. What do you bring? If you don't know what the value, you need to take a step back and you need to analyze yourself. I'll give you an example. I'll use myself as an example. The value that I bring, I can say that I'm international. I can say that I'm the most asked American. So I'm trying to create value. I can say that I know the general manager here at the Marriott Hotel. So based on my network and who I am, I'm trying to correct value. By me putting and writing books shows that I'm an expert at my field. So I'm putting value. And remember, who puts value? Who says the value of Tesla is at that amount? Who says the value of Shell is at that amount? The market. So if the market is asking for you and the market says we want you to do this, because when I left the military, I didn't know that someone would say, can you speak? And then I spoke. And then someone says, can you train? And I trained. And I said, should I get my PhD or write a book? And my friend says, write a book. So the market's going to put the value on you. When you know that someone is asking you for something, they value your knowledge. They value your expertise. They value the surroundings here in the Marriott Hotel because they know it's a 5-star hotel. They know that you're strict to the values that you have. So the values, you have to make sure you know what they are and then bring whatever you have, the service or so, to the market and see how they react. Look, another example, JP, Viagra. I'll just use it as an example. Viagra, the value that they tried to bring out was that it was for your heart. But all of a sudden it entered the market and the market realized, wait a minute, this does something different. I mean, the women and the guys like it. So now the value just went up. So the market will determine the value once you present it. You may have to change, but make sure you find out what the value you would ask people in your network. What type of value do I bring to you? And then you can basically build on that. I hope that answered it. I see Pamela. I can see some questions here. Pamela said something. Can you address cultural differences? Americans seem to know how to network better than most. I don't think so. I disagree. Pamela, I know you're an American like me. But networking means that, I mean, you got to be in the comfort of the people that you like. It opens up your doors. I don't like to say that this person does it better than that person. There's different things that have to occur. You know, the networking in Japan may be different, but the basic rules of building trust and respect and being able to have a value system is overall. It may take a little bit more that people say you need more time to be able to build trust. I believe I know a lot of Americans that aren't, you know, they don't like to network, even though everybody networks in their whole life. I just don't believe that. I think the basic things of networking is building value and norms. When your values and your norms are the same as mine, we'll both go through the same door, and that's what you have to find out very quickly. Because when I was in the military, there's a different types of people. I had some people in the military that never seen snow. I've seen some people in the military that never seen a African American, and they lived in America. So their cultural differences may have been there, but when you put them together and you put them focused on the same direction, and you show that everyone is equal, and that's demonstrating it in the actions, you'll realize that there's no longer cultural differences because we're all the same. We come out the same. It's just that when we're in an environment, people mold us. We pick up and say the Italians are like this, the Germans are like that, the British are like this, the Muslims are like that. But when you break it down and you see that everyone has values and everybody wants a safe, secure life, everybody wants to be successful, and people want to do that. So I understand that some people get the perception that the Dutch do it this way and the Germans do it that way. But I believe everyone has a basic core, and that core is what you have to hit. That's what I think. All right, thanks, JP. Any more questions, guys? That's what here. Do you approach the difference in Europe? Oh, that's another one that Dawn said. Of course, again, if I come into an example, Imam, come here. This is Imam. She's a Syrian mother of 5.
Oh.
She's small. Now the culture will be that I can't, and we got to keep the distance. Maybe the culture is I can't give her a hand. Okay, so then I have to respect that. And her culture may be that she wears a scarf, and I have to respect that. But I got to know why she wears the scarf, because then I go from being ignorant, I don't know the facts, to being a little stupid that I know the facts. My grandmother, my Italian grandmother, used to wear a scarf like that when she went into church. So it has to do something with their faith. So you got to realize that the cultural differences, you have to learn them because you don't offend somebody, because we have those type of things. So thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
What else? Can you set up a small meeting on the later this year? I could, yeah. I could do it. Matter of fact, my event is on the 17th of the Marriott Hotel here. I hope that I could do it. The last time I did it, it was here in the Marriott Hotel in March, and the Prime Minister says you couldn't have any more than 100 people in the room, and I had 99. So
Perfect.
Good. But no, the 17th of December, I have my network club here at the Marriott Hotel, and I hope that I'm allowed to do it. But that's the next one, JP. My mother wanted a scarf to. Oh yeah, okay. JP, there you go. Your mom did too.
Is there anywhere
Good.
we can find more information on that event of yours?
Yeah, you just got to go to the website, thenetworkclub.com, or you go to thenetworkking.com, and you'll see events, and then you can register. It's you can do you. It's better again. It's better if you join as a paying member because you only pay 75 euros, and you come to 4 events, and you can bring a friend for free. If you come to the event and not be a member, you got to pay 35 euros per event. So wise thinking, it's better to join for 75 euros. You come 4 events and you bring 4 guests, and it's all free. Warm and cold buffet, food, drink, refreshment, coffee, tea, and dessert.
Sounds
You get
good.
dessert.
Plus the presentation.
And if someone gets in contact with me, you can just rattle the cage of the base conference people, and they'll be able to help me. Talking like a Dutch. Oh no, man, I'm talking like me, JP. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. Cool. Where you at, JP? Where you based at? I guess he's going to put something up. JP Everdeen.
He's near.
Eemshaven. You in Eemshaven? JP. No. You in Eemshaven? Let me see. Come on. Yeah. Shit. JP, we're starting a business in Eemshaven. I've been up there the last couple of weeks. I've been up there almost every week. Ecuador. Whoa, I know who you are now. Ecuador. That's 20 years, 15, 20 years ago, man. Ecuador with Dubrin, Mueller. Man, we got to hook up. And hey, JP, let's meet when you're good for sure. You got to send me your contact details. JP's in Eindhoven, and you know about Ecuador. Woo! We got something good going on in Eindhoven. I'm not going to tell you right now because we got to wait to launch it, but it's going to be great. Nice.
That was some good networking in action over there.
That's right. Oh, I guess he has. Let me put here so you can see.
JP says he sent you a LinkedIn connection request.
There. Now you got me.
Okay.
Good.
Now everyone has your contact details, so that's great.
Thank you for hosting this and introducing me. I know there was some hiccups that was on my fault, but you handled it very well, and I thank you. And you're very professional in what you do. So thanks for your support.
Thank you very much for showing up and for your presentation. It was really interesting. Guys, thank you for attending, and please do check other sessions as well. There might be some starting in a few minutes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.